That was 1990, I think.
She was born in 91. So.
91, okay. Yeah, so it was 91. Okay, now I'm going to do Jayadvani. Everyone can focus on the names of our great acharyas and all of our worshipable personalities by Jayadvani, because Jaya means victory. We want that, don't we? We don't want to be losers, do we? No. That's not the position of Krishna. He's always the winner. And Krishna's devotees are also always the winners. Always. There may be some setback, but that's all Krishna's plan. Just to make them shine even more, isn't it? Haridas Thakur, Namacharya, the greatest example, beaten in 21 marketplaces. They tried to beat him to death. But how did that amplify his glories and his character? Everyone saw with their own eyes. Hundreds, maybe thousands of witnesses saw how Haridas Thakur was beaten by them and could not be put to death by them, but rather he was smiling and he was looking at them with compassion, these two that were beating him. Finally, they knelt down on the ground and said, "Please, we will die. We will be put to death if you don't die." And he said, "Okay." Then he so-called left his body, but all the symptoms were there. They checked everything, threw him into the Ganga. What did Haridas Thakur do? He floated across to the other side, came up on the bank of the Ganga dancing and singing and chanting. And I mean, that story is amazing in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. When you read the details of that story, and how the Qazi or the Nawab or whoever it was, how that person was so shocked. And they were shocked into absolutely, like practically bowing down and begging for forgiveness from Haridas Thakur, Muslim, king, you know. And from that point on, he was regarded as the topmost saint everywhere. So the devotees are always the victors, always. But Krishna puts them into difficult situations just to make them shine, their glories shine more and more. So we like Jayadvani, although it becomes a routine thing for us, but I try always to meditate upon the personalities with the great moods of feeling wretched and fallen and really, really needing their mercy. Really needing their mercy. Yeah, whatever you do. Oh, you mean for one of the kartals?
This is just for one.
Yeah. About that. You know, so it has enough times to put around your fingers. I hate that when devotees make it this short with two kartals tied together. How are you going to play? There's not even room to have. Okay. Jai Saparikar Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Jiu Ki Jai Shishi Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Jiu Ki Jai Shishi Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Shila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Mahārāja Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Shila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gaur Kishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnav Sarvabhaum Shri Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gauriya Vedanta Charja Baladev Vidubhusan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivashyamanda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Sarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Adi Gaura Parsada Vrinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Hari Das Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sigaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Antardvip Mayapur Simantadvip Godrum Dvip, Madhya Dvip, Kola Dvip, Ritu Dvip, Dvip, Moda Druma Dvip, Ruda Dvip, Atmaka Shri Shri Navadvip, Dhamma Ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Purushottam Kshetra Shri Jagannath Puri Dhamma Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Vrindavan Dhamma Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvadashavanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dhamma Ki Jai. Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Raman Radha Damodar Jiu Ki Jai. Jai Shrimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Sakhi Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Ananga Manjari Adi Manjari Vrinda Ki Jai. Shrimati Brinda Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Purnamasi Yogamaya Devi Ki Jai. Shri Gopi Swar Mahadev Ki Jai. Sarva Bhishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiu Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nisringadev Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhu Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Charo Dham Charo Sampradaya Charo Acharya Ki Jai. Akara Matraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Or Ananya Shakamat Samuha Ki Jai. Shri Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Tribhuvana Pavana Harinam Sankirtana Ki Jai. Tribhuvana Mangala Harinama Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai. Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajana Ki Jai. Shri Pancha Tattva Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutaha Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Bhutam Parijana Sahim Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatadane. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namane. Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sudaksham Audaurya Madhurya Gunaishcha Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tam Shirsha Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha. Shri Krishna Padabja Dritaika Hridi Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tam Satatam Prabhadye. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Gosvāmī Namane. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo mahabhajanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya nam. Trise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Utapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Vachai Namo. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadama. Shri Guru Charana Padma Vandonmue Savadhana Mate. Vandonmue Savadhana Mate. Jahara prasade bhai e bhavato niyajaya. Krishna Bhakti hoye jaha hoite Krishna Krishna Bhakti hoye jaha hoite Krishna Bhakti Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Korya Aikya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Korya Aikya Guru Mukha Arna Korya Mani Ashana Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Jai Prasade Puri Sarva Asha Jai Prasade Puri Sarva Asha Chakudan dilo je jagme jagme Prabhu se Divya gyan hriday prakashito Prema bhakti jayate avidya vinashajate Vede jai jahara charita Vede jai jahara charita Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janārdana Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janārdana Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jīvana Lokanath Lokera Jīvana Prabhu Korodaya Devo Mone Bhajana Prabhu Korodaya Devo Mone Bhajana Duvapade Loinu Sharana Ruapade Vainu Sharana Aha Prabhu Karadaya Dehamare Bhadachaya Aha Prabhu Karadaya Dehamare Bhadachaya Gurudev Patita Pavana Gurudev Patita Pavana Aha Prabhu Karadaya Dehamare Bhadachaya Bhadachaya Devyashtu Jīvana Devyashtu Jīvana Devyashtu Jīvana Ruapade Vainu Sharana Ruapade Vainu Sharana Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Guru Parampara, Guru Parampara, Guru Parampara, Guru Parampara. Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Krishna Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Govinda, Radhe 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 Govinda. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Oh Nitai, Nitai, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai, Nitai, Nitai Gauranga. Oh Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Oh Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare, Gaura Jai Shri Sacinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai, Shri Nityananda Mahārāja Ki Jai, Shri Panchatattva Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Navadvip Dhama Ki, Gaur Premanande. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Vansha kalpadurubhascha kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. So, if you need to go, you can go. Okay. Let's see the time. What? Okay. So, Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Itadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Itadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtottara Sata Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, who came to save the whole world. Then I offer my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Gosvāmī Mahārāja and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja. I offer my Dandavat Pranams to the lotus feet of all of my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, my Siksha Guru Varga. I offer my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all of the Vaishnavis here in Navadvip, in this room, and all throughout the world who are tuning in, my Dandavat Pranams. Tomorrow is also a special day. It is Bhakti Jīvana, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astu Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. It is his, I have to see, his appearance or disappearance day. Yes. Wait. Yeah, disappearance day. Because his appearance day is after 5 days. So every year, those who are the followers of Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja, they have like a week-long festival, 5-day festival. Yeah. And I wanted to especially honor him, because I never had a chance yet, as the years went by, of fully honoring him. Why do I want to fully honor him? What is special about him? Well, just that he's the only one of 3 persons that our Gurudev told speaks like him in his moods of Vraj Ras Bhav and Radha Dasyam, of all the speakers in Gaudiya Math. Who are those 3 persons? He's one of them. Guess who else? Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Gurudev told, sometimes he would also speak. And then Gurudev said, and myself. The first time that I heard about this personality, Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja, was from the lips of my godbrother Pran Kishore Prabhu, who was very, very fortunate in 1985. That's a lot of years ago. 85, not 95, not 2000, 85. He was the only one, along with Uddhav Prabhu, who came on the full Kartik Braj Mandala Parikrama from the west of our Gurudev. I don't know if you know that fact. They were the two only Westerners for the whole entire month. And when he came back, it was some years later that he told me this story. But he told to me, he said, you won't believe it. There was one personality, quite big-bodied. He had very, almost sad-looking eyes. And he was with Gurudev for the whole entire month, for the whole parikrama. And tears were always flowing from his eyes, and he was constantly chanting Radhe, 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 Radhe all the time. Yes. Is he an unknown personality? No, he's very well known in Gaudiya Math. Very well known. And there's one book that is a very special book. It's a tiny little book. It was produced in English, translated from Oriya, because Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Maharaj was not Bengali, he was Oriyan. And it's translated by a person who we know quite well, Bhakti Vichar Vishnu Maharaj. There's a picture of him when he was younger on the back with Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Maharaj. The name of this book is Rupanuga Bhajana. And it's a very interesting book because it's very, first of all, it's very tiny, it's very condensed, and here, Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Maharaj is narrating. He himself took notes and then he wrote it down, because there was a conversation that took place many years ago where there were some exalted personalities. It's in the introduction, I can tell the year and everything. And they sat together. I think it was in Vrindavan during Kartik. They sat together and they began a discussion, which turned into a discussion, what is our prayojan and what is the method to attain it? And that later was written in this small little booklet, probably written in an article and published in some magazine at that time. I don't know the details. But it's very interesting because we, especially us, who are we? We are the followers of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Maharaj, Sri Trivikram Maharaj, in the line of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, in the line of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is the Rupanuga line. And we hear the term all the time, we use it all the time, we say Rupanuga, everything. But do we really know? Gurudev used to mention this again and again. He said, someone can be Raganuga, which is obviously the only way through which we're going to enter Braj is through Rag Marg Bhakti, not Vaidhi Bhakti. But Vaidhi Bhakti is required, okay? There's a whole process. Rupa Goswami has given it. But Rag Marg Bhakti, Raganuga, means to follow who? The eternal associates of Radha and Krishna. But according to your rasa and to your attraction, you'll follow particular associate. Huh? So someone can be Raganuga, but they may not be Rupanuga. But what is Rupanuga? If someone is Rupanuga, they're automatically Raganuga. If someone is Rupanuga. So Rupanuga is very exclusive. is not just some unimportant terminology. It encompasses everything of our whole life, and that's why Narottam Das Thakur wrote Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. The, what is the word? The epochs? No, trying to think of a fancy word in my mind, it's coming. The what? Pinnacle, but there's another word. Like that, okay? Epoch, something, he starts with an E. Anyway, no, different. So, that song by Narottam Das Thakur, that's our song. Everything's in it. Everything is in it. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you read his Upadeshavali, which has been published again and again at the end of our songbooks, and he's saying there, our only aspiration in life is to obtain a particle of dust from the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Manjari. How important is this? Very important. You've been there when Gurudev has come many times to Braj, New Braj, and told that if you want to attain success on this pathway, then you will first of all have to define what is the goal. What is the goal that you're going to try to achieve? There are many different goals in the Vedic system, so many different types of goals, and even within the Vaishnava system, and even within the Gaudiya system. There are different goals. But the goal of the Rupanuga Acharyas and Vaishnavas is only one. To serve the lotus feet of who? Rupa Manjari, who is serving the lotus feet of who? Srimati Radhika. The be-all and the end-all. We say those words, be-all and the end-all. No, she is everything, everything. She's more important than Krishna. We know that. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, I was just hearing his interesting lecture. I have so many on my phone, and I put them on sometimes when I take prasadam and listen. And he was telling the classic, all-time classic story of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur at Radha Kunda during the Brajmandala Parikrama, one of those years, 1933, something like that, I think. And Paramananda Prabhu, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj was actually telling the names of all the different people and how he dared to ask Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati this question. But there was a king, a diwan, they call him diwan, of one of the provinces who had come, royal personality, with his wife and his family and his entourage. And they came to Radha Kund and they were doing Dandavat Parikrama. Srila Sridhar Maharaj was describing how the queen, he was telling in great detail, what is a Dandavat Parikrama? Because he's talking to Westerners, so they may not understand. This is from the early 1980s, when he was telling this. She would stand up and then she would measure with her body the next one and pay obeisance. So Dandavat Parikrama, we know what that is. So they were doing the royal family, devotees of Krishna. They were doing this Dandavat Parikrama around Radhakund and Shyamakunda. That takes a while to do a Dandavat Parikrama around Radhakund and Shyamakund. I don't know. Those who have been doing it regularly, they probably do it very quickly. But if you multiply the time that it takes to do one Dandavat and times X number, right? But then that devotee, that disciple of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati approached him and said, it appears that these personalities, the Diwan of Bharatpur or something like that, they have so much devotion to Radha and Krishna and to Radharani, so much devotion. And then what? What did Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur answer? He says, yes, they have devotion to Krishna. They have devotion to Krishna. And to Radha. They definitely have devotion to Radha. But their devotion, the nature of their devotion, is the opposite of ours. What? The opposite? How is that? Because their understanding of Srimati Radhika and their regard for her is because she is very dear to Krishna, whom they are devoted to. But our understanding is the opposite. Krishna is dear to us because Radharani accepts him as the most dear. Then we have something to do with Krishna, but otherwise we don't have anything to do with him. This is the extreme of Rupanuga. It's so essential to get it straight and to understand clearly that this is really our goal. In my case, the first time, before Google, before the internet, back in the 80s, first time that I heard the term Radhadasyam. Radhadasyam. I'd never heard it before, although I'd read all of Prabhupada's books, listened to his lectures. He didn't use that term, did he? Right? Yeah. He didn't use that term, Radhadasyam. He couldn't at that time. Why? Because they would have all become confused. Oh, Radha is more important than Krishna. No. Just like Gurudev told us, Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Mahārāja, he came to the West to teach what? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? That was the basis of his preaching. Das Mul Tattva. Das Mul. But Braj Ras Katha, it was not time, although Prabhupada imbued a lot of Braj Ras into his very beautiful, simple lectures. I'm hearing it all the time now, because I'm listening to his lectures from 1966, literally 1 month after they opened up the storefront. Amazing lecture the other day I heard, how Prabhupada is glorifying, and he was answering the question of one of the new people, please explain this Hare Krishna, this chanting. Amazing what Prabhupada told there. You have to understand Prabhupada's desperate mood to somehow inject this powerful medicine into their heart so that they would never leave. And his moods of his lectures were like that. But he could not yet show the pinnacle of Srimati Radhika's service of her lotus feet. That was not possible at that time. That's for later installments. It's not for the freshman, the sophomore. It's practically not even for the master's degree students. But the PhD students, now it's everything. It's everything. And if you don't get that, you can't go into the PhD level. If you don't get that, in this line, that's the correct understanding. Can we try to bring that on in our present condition, on our present level? I'm just going to become absorbed in Srimati Radhika all the time, and Radha is more important than Krishna. We see that. We see that in very neophyte devotees even. Because Gurudev, he just pulled out all stops. He said, I've been preaching Vaidhi Bhakti for decades. Now I'm only going to preach this Ragmarg Bhakti and Braj Ras Bhav Bhakti. That's all. And he did. You know, those of you who were there for the first lectures in Badger, he stunned everyone. Nobody expected this. Even senior devotees like that Madhusudan and others, nobody expected what was going to come from this person, Narayan Maharaj. But he stunned the entire world for 15 years with this. So he gave the final installment. Prabhupada gave everything. It's even in his books. Everything, everything. How can it not be? Chaitanya Charitamrita. How can it not be? It's there, fully. Nothing is lacking in Prabhupada's books. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, very exalted Bhav Bhakta, absolutely realized personality. And he used to say, my mission, when I travel and preach, is to show that everything is in Prabhupada's books. And it's very similar, all the things that he would preach. It's like almost identical with Gurudev's, all the different topics that he would cover, all the ways that he would present it. Why? Because this is our line. This is our Siddhanta. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. This is what our line is. And if we don't get that really deeply and understand, then it will be not complete for us. So Gurudev said, first thing is you have to fix your goal. You have to fix your goal. And that's why Gurudev said in a slightly humorous manner, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj came to teach everyone Krishna's Supreme Personality of Godhead. But now he has sent me to teach that now you should forget that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. That's required. That's required. Not that you forget Krishna. Oh no. You become absorbed in Krishna day and night, 24 hours a day. In what mood? The mood of the Brijbasis. How they are absorbed in Krishna. How they are absorbed in Radha. That's our program. Yes, we're in this material world. Yes, we have to deal with the affairs of this world. But internally, if we want to reach that goal, we have to become absorbed day and night, day and night, day and night in these moods. Even while we're working, even while we're cooking, even everything that we're doing. We have to try to cultivate these moods and be 24 hours, nothing less. Because Gurudev told us the definition of bhakti, didn't he? Remember that verse Gurudev used to quote all the time at every single festival? How does it start? Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhakti ruttama. And he would tell us, stand up and explain this verse. I remember once standing up and then I started from the first line. Anyabhilashita shunyam. That means having no, what are you doing? You don't start from the first line. That is not what was the word? Swarup lakshan of this verse. That is tatastha lakshan of this verse. Or am I saying it correctly? Vichar lakshan, I forget. Yeah. He said the third line, that's the Swarup lakshan. What is that? Anu kulyena Krishna anushilanam. Those three words. Anu kulyena Krishna anushilanam. That's everything in that one line. Anushilanam, you can see Gurudev gave us Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, where he broke down every single word of that verse. Vishwanath Chakravarti. Anushilanam, what does anu mean? What does shilanam mean? What are the alternative meanings like this? But it basically means a constant, unbroken flow. Unbroken flow, constant. Like when you pour oil, it's a stream that is unbroken. That's bhakti. It's never not bhakti. So Uttama Bhakti means 24 hours, but the only way that someone will be able to enter into that is if they're following in the footsteps of the Braj, Rasik, Vaishnavas and Acharyas of our line. By Vaidhi Bhakti it will not be possible. It is possible in other eras and so forth, but now in the fallen condition of the Kali Yuga, this mood must be there, and that's why Gurudev injected this mood of spontaneous attraction and love for Krishna as the Brijbasis. We can't copy them, we can't imitate them, but what we have to do is anugatya. And anugatya of who? Tishtan Braje, Tad Anuragi, Jananugami. Tishtan Braje, always being in Braj, always being in Braj. Tishtan, being situated in Braj. Physically if possible, but internally, mentally, must be in Braj, always. Tishtan Braje, Tad Anuragi, Jana, Anugami, Jana. Two Anugatyas. The Anuragi Jan, who are they? Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, cowherd boys, gopis. They're all Anuragis. They're Ragatmik. But who are the followers of them? Anugami, the Anugas. And the beginning of the Anuga line are the 6 Goswamis in Vrindavan. They showed the whole world how to follow this path. That Sad Goswami Ashtakam is so beautiful because it's so beautifully presented there. The Rupanuga Acharyas, how they lived, but especially the 6 Goswamis. And these 6 Goswamis, who are they? Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Maharaj says, they're manifestations of Srimati Radhika. Because first of all, they're all in the category of the Ashtamanjaris. Ashtamanjaris. And who are the Ashtamanjaris? And who's the chief? Rupa Manjari. Rupa, Rati, Lavanga, all these different manjaris are expansions of the various qualities and features of Srimati Radhika. They're directly. Just like the Ashtashakis are direct expansions of her, Kaya Vyuha. Her entire body has expanded as each one of the Ashtashakis. So no one can equal them. They are Radha, but different personalities, different dress, different moods, different everything. All individual. Why? For Krishna to taste more variety, to relish more rasa, to relish more variety of rasa. So the Asamanjaris, they're also expanded from Srimati Radhika, and they came down into this world to assist Mahaprabhu, to give the process for the jivas in this Kali Yuga. And therefore they went to Braj. H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Kolavas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash. They manifested the Nitya Lila, pastimes of Radha and Krishna, that were not even there in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, described in detail. No, they manifested all the pastimes. They found all the pastime places, the Lila Stulis. So the 6 Goswamis, they're the gurus of this Kali Yuga. They're the gurus. Everyone is underneath the 6 Goswamis, except for Ramananda Roy, Sarup Damodar, like that. But the 6 Goswamis are in their Anugatya. Because who are they? Lalita Vishaka. So, Gurudev said, before you can determine what is the process, you have to first of all fix your goal. What is your goal? What do you want to achieve? Or where do you want to go? Before you can buy your ticket, you have to know where you're going to fly to. So you have to have your goal fixed, and then you can determine what you'll have to do in order to attain that goal. So this little book, Rupanuga Bhajan, I became inspired to read that in the next few classes, or however long it takes. Maybe it'll be much shorter, because it's not very long. But it's just a very wonderful. I was reviewing it last night on my own, and I was seeing how, there's certain verses, there's certain shlokas which the Rupanuga Vaishnavas highlight. Gurudev also highlighted so many different shlokas and prayers, and then different songs by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, like that. So the titles of the chapters are, the first one is the teachings of the Gaudiya Sampradaya, and that's like 3 pages long in this little book. The next one is called The Service to Srimati Radharani, Radhadasyam. And that one is 7 pages long. Then the next chapter is the process of Rupanuga Bhajan. What's the process? And that one is 9 pages long. Then the worship of the divine couple, and that's 7 pages long. And then the last chapter before the end of the book, the longing of our acharyas. That's very important. How they were longing in all of their songs. Those songs have to be embedded, imprinted in our heart and mind. How the acharyas were longing. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was asked by someone, how can we attain this great gift that Mahaprabhu has come to give, Krishna Prem? And Srila Kishore Das Babaji said, you go to the marketplace and you purchase the 2 books of Narottam Das Thakur, Prarthana and Prem Bhakti Chandrika, and you follow them. You follow those books, and you'll attain Krishna Prem, Gaur Prem. And then, in the modern era, the Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote 4 books, major books. You could say 5 in some way, because he wrote other songs also that weren't in those books, a few. But, and everything is there. What Narottam Das Thakur, and then he expanded that. These are our treasures, these are our jewels. We should make a nice box, a nice decorative, beautiful box, like people make to hold jewels inside of them. The outside of the box also looks very beautiful, right? And then you open it up, and in that box are very beautiful jewels, gemstones, decorative, like this. That should be the box of all of our Acharya's moods in our heart. That box should go in our heart, and we should be opening it every day and looking at these beautiful gemstones, what their moods are. So Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Mahārāja is a very great personality, and also Madhukar told you were going to send me something about his relationship. What?
I did just now.
Just now, yeah. That's okay. That he was very intimate friends with Srila Vaman Gosvāmī Maharaj, or you were saying, right? That one.
Oh, I sensed the previous booklet that he wrote.
The booklet, okay.
But yeah, I still have to send that.
Yes, okay. So, and then at the end of this book, there's quite an in-depth, like 12 pages long, biographical sketch of Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Maharaj and his life. So that's what I thought we could spend the next few days, and then in the course of this, we can determine which direction we will go. There are many, many different, just like in Vrindavan, there's so many different little gullies and different lanes, and you can go down this lane and then it connects with this one, and like that. So just like all the books of our acharyas, what Gurudev has given, just what Gurudev has given, what to speak of the others as well. You look at Gurudev's list. Bhajan Rahasya of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's to be read through our whole life. That's the guidebook. That's the Shikshastakam opened up and expanded and displayed for all the Vaishnavas to understand what's in each one of the 8 slokas of Shikshastakam, and how that corresponds with Shri Krishna's Ashtakal Leela in Goloka Vrindavan. How Krishna is playing in 8 different time periods of the day, eternally. And that's there in the Shikshastakam. Not only that, the levels from Shraddha all the way to Bhav, to Prem, that's also in the 8 verses of the Shikshastakam. Without Bhaktivinoda Thakur mining, you know how a miner goes and digs and starts with his pickaxe and to get gold and all, that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur did with the Shikshastakam. He expanded, and he showed us how the 8 different levels from Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Vritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, and Prem. How these levels are there within each one of the verses of the Shikshastakam. And Gurudev also told us, he explained something I didn't know before, and that is that the first slok of the Shikshastakam is mentioning the 7, what? Sometimes it's called seven-tongued Samkirtan, but it's the 7 effects. What will be the effect of that stage in bhakti? What will the symptoms be? What will we achieve? What will we feel internally? What will manifest in our lives? Those 7 effects are mentioned in the first sloka. Chetudarpana marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidyavadhu Jīvanam, Anandam Buddhivardhanam, Pratipadam Purnam Ritasvadanam, Sarvatma Snapanam, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Samkirtanam. So those are mentioned, and each verse, from the 2nd verse to the 8th verse, are describing those, are describing the moods of the devotee who will be experiencing those stages and will feel those 7 effects. So this is our pathway. This is our pathway. We may just be in the beginning phases. We certainly, we will have to consider that we have not become very advanced, because in order to become advanced, one has to realize I'm nothing. Right? What is that? Trinadapi Sunijena. No real advancement comes without that, without considering oneself to be lower than even a blade of grass, straw in the street, lower than that. This is not poetry. This is the actual experience in the heart. So, 1240, you wanted to see the deities. Did you have darshan of them already? Okay. So that uluing, what do you call it? Ululuing. That's because the deities have opened and they're going to have artik. So if anyone wants to go, and you certainly need to have their darshan. And but I'll continue a little bit more. We usually do that in this class. But if you want to go and have darshan of the deities, you please feel free. You're welcome. Yes. So I'm going to read the biography at the end of Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. This is titled The Glorious Life. The Glorious Life of Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. So the following compilation is an offering in remembrance, in appreciation and glorification of His Divine Grace Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa 108 Sri Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. So as many devotees from around the world would like to know about His glorious life, His teachings, His personal history, and His devotional practice, so I humbly offer this brief sketch at the lotus feet of Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And by the inspiration and the yearning of the devotees, I present this for their edification. So Srila Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja was a unique, pure Rupanuga Vaishnava from among all of our Guru Vargas and the disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. As such, he always taught us the highest principles of Krishna Bhakti as enunciated by Srila Prabhupada, who was also affectionately known as Varshabhanavi Devi Dayata Das, the beloved servant of Srimati Radharani. Srila Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja was a strict follower of Raghunath Das Goswami and Srila Rupa Goswami, both of whom taught the value and the highest objective of Radha Dasyam, being themselves intimate servitors of Srimati Radharani. Srila Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja is my sannyas guru. Did you know that? That's Bhakti Vichar Vishnu Maharaj. He is my sannyas guru, and he was the vice president of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mission. He was held in the highest esteem by his god brothers, including my Diksha Guru, His Divine Grace Nitya Lila Pravishta, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashtotara Shata, Sri Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Gosvāmī Maharaj, and by Pujapad Nityananda Goswami Maharaj, who was Nityananda Das Brahmachari, another prominent senior disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Very dear to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Nityananda Das Brahmachari was also Srila Prabhupada's personal servant and cook. Did you hear about him before? Neither did I. That's the wealth of our Guru Varga. We hear about so many exalted personalities. So he says, I have tried to collect a few drops of nectar from the ocean of Srila Janārdana Goswami Maharaj's sublime qualities. Some of these I experienced personally. But I will also relate some of Srila Mahārāja's noble characteristics and his pastimes as observed by some of his other close associates and godbrothers. In this way, it is my hope that by offering this recollection at his lotus feet, we may all be blessed and we may be inspired by such a divine personality. So, the reason I'm reading this is because I mentioned this in the beginning of the class, but for some who came a little bit late, is that tomorrow is his disappearance day. So I wanted to use this day of our class to glorify him and to hear his glories. And I also spoke something about him in the beginning of the class. So in this way, it is my hope that by offering this recollection at his lotus feet, we may all be blessed and we may be inspired by such a divine personality. Nama Om Vishnupadaya, Prabhupada Priyaya Cha, Śrīmad Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Namane. I offer my Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Goswami, who is very dear to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Oh, he has a lot of shlokas here. Wow. I'm going to read these. These are treasure houses. I'm having a hard time seeing this. No sufficient light, but it's broken. This light is broken. So I'm just going to use my little flashy light. Shravanena Prabhupada Prajalpatihiya Prabhupada Nishta Rupa Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my Dandavat pranams to Sri Guru, who is always speaking the name of Prabhupada, his Guru Padapadma. He is the very form of Guru Nishta in his unshakable determination to serve the lotus feet of his Guru Maharaj. Actually, this is an Ashtakam. This is a Sanskrit Ashtakam, I just noticed. All right, third verse. Shri Radha Tattva Nishtaya Chintayati Sadatmane Agyana Nashane Tasmai Prema Sara Pracharane. Probably written by, I think, Bhakti Vichar Vishnu Maharaj. I offer my Dandavat Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Goswami, who has great determination and intense faith in Shri Radha Tattva, and who always is immersed in remembering Srimati Radharani. That's not an exaggeration. Her glories, remembering her her glories, her moods and pastimes, and who always taught the same truths to his disciples and followers. Shri Radha Bhava Gambiraha Hridaye Smarati Sada Svajana Prati Vatsalya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my Dandavat pranams to Sri Guru, who is always absorbed in the core of his heart in the deep bhav of Srimati Radharani, following in the footsteps of our previous acharyas, whose hearts are ever captivated by her divine qualities and pastimes, and who always lovingly relish such discussions in the company of like-minded devotees. Vaishnavanam Varenyam Ya Sarva Shastre Supandita Tam Guru Charanam Vande Shri Jīvan Janārdana. I offer my Dandavat pranams to Srila Bhakti Jīvan Janārdana Gosvāmī, who is an Uttam Bhagavat, a topmost devotee among all devotees in Vaishnava society, and who expertly comprehends the purport of all devotional scriptures. Radhe Radheti Mukhabje Yasya Spurati Abhikshanam Radhaya Priyaswarupa Shri Jīvan Janārdanam. I offer my Dandavat pranams to Shri Bhakti Jīvan Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja, who is always remembering and loudly chanting along with his associates. Chanting what? Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Gora Kripa Vigrahaya Gorangasya Priyatmane Tam Rupam Satatam Bande Mad Jīvanasya Jīvanam. I offer my Dandavat pranams unto Srila Bhakti Jīvan Janārdana Gosvāmī, who is the very form of Lord Gauranga's mercy, and who is very dear to Lord Gauranga. Final verse. Virahena Sadayache Tavapada Padmeshu Me Ashraya Charane Dehi Guru Deva Kripaluna. I offer my Dandavat pranams to you, O Gurudev. Intensely feeling your separation, I pray that by your compassion and mercy, you will always give me shelter at your lotus feet. Nice ashtakam, huh? I don't know if he mentions it here, because he said he'll tell some of his own experiences, but there were a couple of devotees who also took sannyas in the Sangha of Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj from Bhakti Jīvan Janārdana Maharaj, because they were kind of like co-founders and co-acharyas. So some of them got a lot of the association of Srila Janārdana Maharaj, and one of them is the late Bhakti Kamala Govinda Maharaj, who had a few years of his association. And I heard Kishori Mohan, he had found out a lot of details about him, because for that short period when he was still living, then all of a sudden a lot of devotees wanted to come and get his association. He was one of the three personalities whom Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj kind of appointed, not exactly appointed as acharyas, but initiating. He told them they should continue initiations. And Bhakti Kamala Govinda Maharaj, I heard, as I just said from Kishori Mohan Prabhu, that sometimes Srila Janārdana Maharaj would place his head in the lap of Bhakti Kamala Govinda Maharaj, and when he was just immersed in Radhe, 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 and weeping. Yes. So he had that kind of association. So Srila Bhakti Jīvan Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja appeared in this world in the year 1917. So he was younger. He was younger. Like practically by 20 years to our Prabhupada. 1896. Yeah, 21 years younger. And you told me that he kind of grew up in the Gaudiya Mutt with Srila Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja. So they were very intimate friends. And I want to see that. You have to send that to me. So he was born in the month of Agrahayana Shuklashtami on a Friday corresponding to the date of December 21st, 1917. He appeared in a village near the town Bhanjanagara, Ganjam district in the state of Orissa, Bharatvarsha. It should be noted here that Ganjam district is famous for being the appearance place of who? Of numerous high-caliber Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Ganjam district. Srila Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja's father and mother are unknown because he never spoke much about the details of his life prior to joining the mutt. Without having performed much of a sickness pastime, Srila Guru Maharaj uttered Radhe, Radhe, Radhe and passed from this world at 6:25 a.m. on Monday, December 5th, 1994. Yes. Chanting what? Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. He did so in the presence of his disciples at Gauravani Vinod Ashram Gaudiya Mutt in Subasapalli, Kharagpur, Medinipur district, West Bengal, India. We always hear the name Kharagpur, Kharagpur. So that's where his temple, and that's where he stayed. And he passed away in the temple complex that he had founded and constructed there. Now, in his youth, upon hearing the preaching of the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he was immediately attracted to Krishna consciousness and traveled to Sridham, Mayapur. There he surrendered his life to the service of his Gurudev and began residing in Sri Chaitanya Mutt. A model sadhak, he was unwaveringly respectful to all Vaishnavas and to his elder god brothers. He never missed arti or kirtan. Naturally detached from material sense enjoyment and mundane inclinations, he always showed a special attraction to and an interest in hearing Harikatha and Śrīmad Bhagavatam classes from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Guru Maharaj took initiation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Mayapur, and he received the name Shripad Ananta Ram Das Brahmachari. So from the time he joined the mutt, he was seen to be continually engaged in rendering various loving devotional services to the mutt and to the mission of his Gurudev. He always took great concern to never waste a moment of time and to always be favorably engaged in hearing Krishna Katha, in joining Kirtan, worshipping Tulsi, studying Shastra, going out for preaching, collecting donations for the maintenance of the temple, and a diversity of other devotional services, which he executed with faith and humility. Further, he was never seen to be attached to anything for his own personal comfort, for his opulence, service, or recognition. His Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, was very pleased with his service attitude, with his sincerity and commitment, and in turn he always paid special attention to him. So after receiving initiation, Shripad Anantaram Das Brahmachari quickly became proficient in scriptural knowledge, and he joined the preaching mission along with his other god brothers who had great affection and respect for him on account of his exemplary devotional qualities. Seeing his enthusiasm and ability, Srila Saraswati Thakur sent him to Orissa to preach. He sometimes stayed at the Gaudiya Mutt in Cuttack, and later he resided in Puri at Chatak Parvat, Purushottam Gaudiya Mutt, where he offered his service for some time. Subsequently, he also served at the Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Math in Calcutta. While there, he went out every day to collect donations for various temple projects. He visited households and businesses throughout the city, and he very enthusiastically enlightened whoever he met with valuable instructions on the science of Krishna Bhakti. Yeah, that sounds like the early days that we experienced, huh? Regardless of whether he was very busily engaged in doing service around the temple, such as worshipping the deities, performing arti, cooking, distributing prasadam, cleaning the temple, and doing various other types of seva, he still never failed to spend time reading Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, and other Puranas. As well as regularly reading Shastra, he also memorized all of the most important scriptural verses. He did this not for show, but as a function of keeping his inner devotional life vibrant. Yeah, let's open up the door and the windows again. Yes. He memorized all of the most important scriptural verses. I didn't realize, because I only heard about his Radhe Radhe, but that he was such a great scholar. Wow. He did this not for show, but as a function of keeping his inner devotional life vibrant. He also thoroughly studied all 18 Puranas. His deep faith in Shastra and his proclivity to memorize and lovingly recite scripture inspired other devotees, including those who were senior to him, to memorize more verses. And even while he was still a brahmachari, it was not unusual for senior Vaishnavas to order him to speak and then become impressed and inspired by his Harikatha. For the benefit of his audience, whenever he spoke, he frequently made reference to stories he had read in the Puranas and elsewhere. So consequently, his godbrothers would lovingly refer to him as Purana Vakta, speaker of Puranas. Srila Janārdana Maharaj was in fact Preshtanu Shilanam. Every moment of his entire life was dedicated to the service of his Gurudev and the Vaishnavas, and to continually searching for the essential value of life. So in 1937, on the 1st of January, when the Acharya of the Gaudiya Math, Jagat Guru Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, enacted his disappearance Leela, the Math was overtaken by disagreements and quarrels between godbrothers on how to cooperatively manage the institution. Sound familiar? Many sannyasis and brahmacharis then left Sri Chaitanya Math to preach and to establish their own independent centers and temples. At that time, there was great suffering on account of disunity and misunderstanding between the devotees. Then, Shripad Anantaram Das Brahmachari, along with other brahmacharis and sannyasis, rented a house in Medinipur at Shiv Bazar, where they eventually established the Sri Shyamananda Gaudiya Math. Because why? Why Shyamananda Gaudiya Math? Because Shyamananda, amongst the three Prabhus, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasacharya, and Shyamananda Prabhu, he preached mostly in Orissa. Yes. So at that temple that they established there, the president was Srila Bhakti Vichar Ijajavar Gosvāmī Mahārāja. So under Shripad Anantaram Das Brahmachari's guidance, other godbrothers joined him, and they started preaching from there. During this period, Shripad Radha Ramana Das Brahmachari, who was later on known by his sannyas name of Srila Bhakti Kumud Santa Goswami Maharaj, and who was a very close associate of Shripad Anantaram Das Brahmachari. I guess they were both younger. He would spend a considerable amount of time discussing high-class Vaishnav Shastra. Sometimes Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja would also join them as they studied Vaishnava philosophy and kirtan, plus discuss the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And they three went to the Thakur Bhakti Institute.
Yeah. So in this way, they all happily spent their time absorbed in Krishna Bhakti. In Medinipur, there was also a library maintained by the king where devotees would go to do research. So with great enthusiasm, along with some of his god brothers, Shripad Anantaram Das, an undeviated Naistik brahmachari, went to his respected elder god brother, Nitya Lila Pravishtom Vishnupad Bhakti Gaurava Vaikanas Gosvāmī Mahārāja, and accepted Tridanda Sannyas Ashram from him, in accordance with the principles of Satvata Samhita.
Bhakti Gaurava Vaikanas Maharaj is like, Srila Bhakti Goswami, after he was the main person who established Thakurji into all of the rituals. And then after he left, Srila Bhakti Goswami took that position.
Oh. I have to tell that to our Bhaktivedanta Vaikanas Maharaj. So they where did I leave off? So after serving for some time in Sri Shamananda Gaudiya Mutt, Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja left to preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to establish his own temple, Gauravani Vinod Ashram Gaudiya Mutt, in Subasapalli, Kharagpur. There he installed beautiful deities of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Sri Vinod and Sri Radha Vinod Jiu, and he worshipped them daily along with the murti of his beloved Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Be interesting to visit that temple. Making this temple his home base, he preached successfully all over Orissa and West Bengal. He was known for organizing beautiful, well-attended festivals where guests were welcomed to hear high-class Harikatha and then sumptuously fed. The Appearance Day festival of Vyas Puja he held for his worshipable Guru Maharaj always attracted many Vaishnavas. Many also recall the grand Radhastami festivals he would hold and how he would repeatedly and joyfully be heard to chant Radhe Radhe. Just wanted to mention in this regard, yesterday or day before yesterday, I saw a video of ISKCON connected kirtan in Dubai. Big, huge festival. And I'm happy to report that they did not stick to the usual theme. And they chanted a lot of Radhe, 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 contrary to the GBC's rule that her name should only be chanted 3 times separately from Krishna's name. But on Radhastami Day, you can chant it for about approximately 2 minutes, no longer. Yes, indeed. So Srila Guru Maharaj, he was an expert preacher, and he always took the attention of his audience to the examples found in the pages of the Puranas. Oh, I thought it was later. To the pages of the Puranas. So known for his sweet, slow presentations, his classes captured the interest of the many devotees and visitors who came to hear him speak. Everyone knew that once he began speaking Harikatha, his classes would never be less than 2 hours long. At times, he even spoke for up to 4 hours. He was also known to sing the Gaudiya Mahajans. So in this way, he easily attracted the many pious, fortunate souls who took shelter of him. And by seeing his ideal Vaishnava character, his determined vow of sannyas, and his mood of service at the lotus feet of his guru, his devotion to Radha Govinda and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and by hearing his sweet Harikatha, embellished with relevant examples in Ras Kirtan, many wealthy, highly literate persons came to Kharagpur to hear from him. Many eventually took initiation from him and became his disciples. Multiple Vaishnavas have noted that Srila Janārdana Maharaj never missed the Navadvip Dham and the Vraj Mandala parikramas. He was especially fond of Navadvip, and he would reside in Navadvip proper during the Gaur Purnima season. On one occasion during Navadvip parikrama at Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's Samadhi in Mayapur, when it came time for him to glorify his Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj began to speak. During his glorification, his throat choked up and he broke down into uncontrollable tears that rendered him unable to say anything further. As he wept, those in attendance were awestruck by his sincerity and authenticity, as well as his deep faith in and love for his spiritual master. Although Srila Janārdana Maharaj had a notable sweet disposition, this was in no way an indication of any weakness within him. He did not shy away from addressing controversies and often invited debate if he felt it would forward the great truths of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Once, while on Govardhan Parikrama, Thakur Prabhupada, sound familiar? Yeah, that's what our acharyas do at Radhakund. He invited them to discuss the topic, but the Babajis declined. So, using scriptural references and historical facts, Srila Guru Maharaj strongly and conclusively articulated the legitimacy of the saffron-garbed Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Though Srila Janārdana Maharaj had humbly asked them to discuss the topic, seeing his strength of character and hearing his firm tone and persuasive arguments, the Babajis were unable to justify their slanderous claim. The strength with which he spoke has been characterized as though a time of the Babajis came forward to accept his invitation to debate the issue, or at the beginning of Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1:1-2, only those who are completely pure-hearted, nirmatsara, only they can understand Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Any person's pleasure, which is the opposite of nirmatsara, such a be able to access Śrīmad Bhagavatam's deep purports. Srila Janārdana Maharaj, he always for Srila Maharaj. The cows would often be seen standing on the veranda waiting for his arrival. His devotion to and his enthusiasm for these tasks were unmistakable. To watch him was to understand the mood of the Gopas and Gopis of the sacred land of Vrindavan. But personally, for his own benefit or convenience, Srila Guru Maharaj would never accept anyone's service. Rather, he was always enthusiastic to accept an opportunity to respectfully serve other Vaishnavas, even those who were his juniors. For the satisfaction of Lord Krishna, he was continually absorbed in ecstatic devotion by body, mind, and words. His activities were done in remembrance of his Gurudev, Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, in remembrance of his Gurudev, Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, Raghunath Das Goswami, and associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Sri Radha Govinda, and their dearmost Sakhis and Manjaris. He was often heard to utter their names or pray to them in a mood of pure bhav bhakti. He was also always calling out. He was also always calling out, Anunandani Shrimati Radharani, Swamini, and joy the sweet mellow of loving service to Sri Radha Krishna. Then they must first take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They must always chant the Lord's holy names, and they must faithfully follow the eternal maid servants of Srimati Radharani like Lalita, Vishaka, Rangadevi, Sudevi, Tunga Vidya, Champaklata, Chitra, and Induleka. He assured us that if even in this very lifetime we are able to serve all of the Manjaris and Dasis of the divine couple, including Rupa Manjari, with pure humility and without any hesitation or duplicity, that these maidservants are so merciful that they will accept us and they will help us to be established in our eternal service mood. Gaur Premanandi. Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Chatadiya Tirobhav Mahamahotsav Titi. Srila Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Wow, I'm impressed. That's the first time I've heard. I didn't get around to reading that little biographical section. So now I know much, much more about this personality. And that was really good advice at the end. That's why you can see just so much like Gurudev. Maybe even more. Even more Radha and Sakis inclined, in the sense that he was so vocal, all the time very vocal about that. So he disappeared in 94. Unfortunately, I didn't have his darshan, but now we're having his darshan through the ears, yes? Yes. And what did our Gurudev say? You know the story about Gurudev, who was being kind of opposed by some of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because he was saying boldly that I understand Prabhupada's teachings more than you. They became quite upset. Who is he to say like that? He has not even had the darshan of Prabhupada, and he can say to us like that? They were obviously some not of the highest caliber, you know. But they went and complained to Srila Param Gurudev. And they repeated what this Narayan Mahārāja, he wasn't even a sannyasi at that time, yes, Gaur Narayan, Das Brahmachari, Banachari. So they repeated to Param Gurudev that he's telling that he has had the darshan of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati through the ears, whereas we have only had through the eyes. So therefore, he knows better what are the teachings of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And what did Param Gurudev do? He told them, yes, he is correct. Of course, we don't know the whole conversation. That would be an interesting conversation, but he supported. Because none of us have met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gorkishore Das Babaji, so many personalities. But we feel very close because we've heard their teachings, we've heard their life, their qualities and all of that. So this is the benefit of being in the association of personalities who did have the darshan of these personalities, of these exalted acharya personalities, and they have recorded that for our benefit. So, with that, I'm ending today's class, and the time is 1:21. And we will continue our usual program of Thursday, Sunday, and Tuesday. And we'll see, because there's a lot of festival days coming up. I was just looking at especially I think the January and the February calendars are full of so many, special days. So we'll adjust accordingly. And I'm very happy. Yeah.
Any day you think would be nice, so we would like to host any special day.
Mm-hmm.
At our place there, they want to host any program.
Okay.
So we'll cook lunch for everybody, we'll make a feast.
You make a feast. Well, let's look at the calendar. Let's pick a couple of dates. Can we pick more than one per month? Yeah? Okay.
We just need a little help with like the vote.
Yeah. We will contribute, of course. Why would we not contribute?
So always asking me, he's like, so when is everybody going to come? He's like, here for me.
Okay.
And it's a nice setup.
Okay. Yeah, it's become the Madhukar mystery ashram. Yeah, wonderful. So, how long does it take to go by bicycle? Exactly. You've been back and forth many times. 10 minutes.
No, bicycle.
How far is it by walking?
I don't know, maybe I haven't walked there before, but maybe I'm guessing like half an hour walk.
Yeah, that sounds right. But by scooter, 5 minutes.
Maybe a little more.
Yeah, and by
If you can find it, it's fine.
by rickshaw,
By rickshaw, yeah.
10 minutes maximum, huh?
Maximum. And they all know where it is. All the people
What do you say? What do you tell them?
You say Carter Mat.
Huh?
Carter Mat.
Karder mat.
Mat.
Yeah, mat.
Not mat like Korea mat, but mat like a field mat.
Oh,
Carter Mat. But they also they all know Subal and I are there. They all the winter guys there. They brought us there.
so we just say Madhukar's ashram. No?
Yeah, our Subal. Yeah.
Subal Saka's ashram. Okay, that's doable. So we can look on the calendar and we can think about an appropriate day, and I'm just looking really quickly right now.
31st. Yeah.
Well, Gita Jayanti is on the 23rd. That's right, it's Ekadasi. Of course, in 5 days, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 5 days is the appearance day of Bhakti Jīvana Janārdana Mahārāja. But our next, that's on Wednesday, the 20th. And the next class is on Sunday, the 17th, Dhanu Sankranti. I don't know why all these Sankranti days are there. I don't know what the significance of those are. Well, the Purnima day is the 26th. That's Purnima. And it's also the end of the Katyayani Vrat. And then the next day after that is on the 31st, the last day of the year, and that is the 86th disappearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
17 days.
Yeah. But January is just like chock-a-block. Oh, so many days. So, but I mean, we don't have to necessarily come there on one of those days. We just choose a day and we have our katha there, right? Okay. So, I agree. Everybody else agree to do that?
Yeah, you can see what it's like. And like, you can see if it works out nice.
No, I want to go. I planned at some point to go. So, good idea. We'll come there by rickshaw probably. Yeah. So it's like, is it equivalent to going from here to that Manipuri Ghat? About that same distance? Or less?
Yeah, it might be like that distance.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not so good at that kind of thing, but I can show. I'll send you a map of the location.
Okay.
It's just like when you're going past Shivana Saraswat Math, and you just keep on going straight, like if you go under the bridge.
Yeah, I know how to go in that direction.
Yeah,
You told me that before.
Yeah, you just keep on going straight, and then there's two big ponds on the side, and then you turn like the first.
Two big ponds on the left side as you're going straight.
Left side.
And then you turn left.
After the ponds.
After the ponds, you turn left.
And there's some shops and stuff, and then
Yeah.
you'll see a road, and you just go down that road.
Wait. You turn left, and you take that very same road that you turn left onto. You keep going.
Yeah, you keep on going.
Okay.
And then you'll see a primary school. It's called the Bina Pani Primary School. Everybody knows that school also.
The what school?
Bina Pani
Bina Pani.
Primary School, and then once you get to the end of the road, we're just on the right.
Okay. So you're going in the direction of the Ganga
Yeah,
when you turn left.
We're like a 4-minute walk. From the
Oh, really? Wow.
You can see the
Nice. Okay. Gaur Premanande. All right. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Okay. Brindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradedevi Sachavachai Namo Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All glory to the assembled devotees. So